All right, good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, I won't be returning back to school this week, so I will see you all on Monday. But I wanted to create this video so that you know how to create a blackout poem. So go ahead and click on today's link. And some of you may have already done this in the past, but you're going to create a blackout poem with one of three options from Romeo and Juliet. So I'm going to show you those options first. So there are three soliloquies that you can choose from, either Friar Lawrence, Juliet, or Romeo. And what you're going to do is create your own copy. And then when you do, select which character you're going to create your blackout poem for. So here's my example. As you can see, it's still not finished, but I chose Romeo. And this is kind of what I've been doing with my blackout poem. You can see I chose some words here that I'm trying to create some type of meaning behind. And I'm blacking out words that I'm not going to use. And I've also used a picture. So before we get started, let me go to the instruction slides. So I'm going to show you other examples of what your blackout poem could look like from after you select which soliloquy you're going to use. But here's one called The Beach. All the words are marked out except for the words that make up the poem. The marks create the picture of the theme of that document. Here's one called Hearts. So in this one, the words are marked out but still visible. It's still clear which words make up the poem. Boxes are drawn around the words on that there. This one is The Tree. So words in the poem are marked with black. The rest of the words are still visible. And this is kind of what your poem should probably look like, since we're only using Google Doc, not an actual paper. But nothing has been done to the words outside of the couple. It's clear the only words that are part of the poem are in the bodies of people. No color was used, but it still shows effort. So in your blackout poem, you have to have some type of meaning behind the character that you chose and their soliloquy. So this one here says, she released her silence, cling to me all my days, till death. The lovers, being astute, agree to say nothing. So from that poem, we can tell that this deals with maybe a marriage or relationship. Here's another one for planets. You can look at that example. And here's the main rules that I want you to follow for this assignment. The words must start at the very top and go down the page. You should only keep words and very short phrases and not entire sentences. You can use any of the ideas from the examples that I've already shown. You can cover all or some of the words, use black or white only, or you can use all colors. You can box around words or not. The poem should reveal the character's personality or state of mind, or something related to Romeo and Juliet. It can also be a theme. You can use a picture or pictures over the words. Also, the picture must correspond to the meaning of your poem. You can't just mark out words and call it a day, so if you only mark off like a third or less of the page and you didn't really highlight any of the words that you were trying to use, then you won't get full credit. There must be at least 10 words in your poem. The space that you don't use must be filled or cut off, no extra white space. Even if you aren't an artist, you can still put forth the effort in this. So going back to my example, I chose Romeo, and I decided to do his initials of Romeo and Juliet. I decided to insert a picture into the soliloquy, and I chose the knife because I think it best represents Romeo and some of the things that he did in the play. You know, he tried to stop the families from fighting, and yet he used a sword to kill Juliet's cousin Tybalt. So I decided to use some of the words within his initial, and also in the text here as well. And then I started to create Juliet's initial, and I'm going to highlight and continue to highlight a few words to finish off the poem that I created. So here's an example of what you could do. You could highlight, and then click here, highlight color, and if you choose black, that'll completely mark over the words so that you can't see it. Same thing there. And so that's kind of a form of blackout that we're working on since we're only working through Google Docs. So another idea I had was the words that I'm not using that aren't in yellow, I may highlight with red. And that'll be the outline of my R. So you can get as creative as you want with this. You can insert as many pictures as you want. And if you do insert a picture, here's the options where you can insert a picture that's within the line of the text, it wraps around the text, or it can break through the text. So the option that I chose was inline. So when I finish, I'm probably going to do red around the rest of the initials here, and then red around the J as well. And then as you can see, I've already highlighted some words that I'm going to use for my blackout poem. So far I have that have no power, not conquered beauties. And then I may do a few other words here to add to the poem as well. As you can see where the knife is at, I put fear, I will stay. And that's kind of referring back to Romeo when he was with Juliet at the tomb when he committed suicide. So you're going to have the entire class period to work on this. The main thing I'll be grading for is effort, and if you follow the instructions. You're going to submit this by 11:59 p.m. and anything that you don't finish today, you do need to finish in class tomorrow. All right, if you have any questions, you can send me an email and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can.